Richard Hale was a man who had everything: wealth, power, and influence. He owned luxury hotels across the country and lived in a glass mansion overlooking the city. But behind all the glamour, his home was quiet, too quiet. His 8-year-old son, Nathan, hadn't spoken a single word since the day his mother passed away 2 years ago. Doctors said it was selective mutism caused by trauma, but nothing Richard tried seemed to help. Therapists, specialists, expensive schools, all failed. Nathan remained silent, lost in his own world. One evening, Richard arrived at one of his hotels unannounced. He liked doing that sometimes, just to see how things ran when no one was expecting him. As he walked through the dining hall, he noticed something strange. At a corner table, Nathan sat with one of the waitresses, a young woman with dark hair tied back, wearing the standard uniform. She wasn't serving him. She was moving her hands. Nathan was copying her. Both smiled, laughing quietly without making a sound. Richard froze. For the first time in months, Nathan looked happy. He moved closer, unnoticed, and realized the waitress was teaching his son sign language. He was about to interrupt, but something in Nathan's face stopped him. The way his eyes shone, the way his shoulders relaxed. He hadn't seen that expression since before his wife's accident. Later that night, Richard called the hotel manager and demanded to know who she was. "Her name's Emily Carter," the manager said nervously. "She's new. Only been here 2 weeks." Richard ordered her to meet him in his office the next morning. When Emily arrived, she looked nervous but calm. "Mr. Hale," she said softly, "if I did something wrong, I'm sorry." Richard leaned forward. "Why were you teaching my son sign language? Who gave you permission?" She hesitated, then looked down. "No one. I just noticed he didn't speak. I didn't want to make him uncomfortable, so I tried signing." He understood immediately. Richard frowned. "How do you know sign language?" Emily took a deep breath. "Because my younger brother couldn't hear or speak. He passed away last year. Teaching him was the only way I could talk to him. When I saw Nathan alone that day, it reminded me of him. Thought maybe I could help." Richard felt something shift inside him. Her words hit deeper than he expected. But still he didn't show it. "You're not a therapist. You're a waitress," he said sharply. "You shouldn't have interfered." Emily nodded quietly. "You're right. I just wanted to help your son feel less alone." For a long moment Richard said nothing. That night, as he tucked Nathan into bed, he noticed a small notebook on his son's desk. It was filled with scribbles of sign language symbols, drawn in crayon, with Emily's name written on the first page. He turned to Nathan, who looked up at him with wide eyes. Then Nathan slowly raised his hands and signed something. Richard didn't understand. "What does that mean?" he asked. Nathan pointed at a page. It was the word friend. The next day, Richard did something he hadn't done in years. He invited Emily to his home, not as staff but as a guest. He asked her to keep teaching Nathan. Over time, the lessons became the highlight of Nathan's day. Slowly he started to communicate, through signs first, then small words whispered hesitantly. Months passed, and one evening Richard heard laughter echoing from the garden. He followed the sound and saw Emily and Nathan sitting under the oak tree, signing and laughing together. It was a simple scene, but it melted something cold inside him. Then one night, as Richard reviewed old family videos, he found one from Nathan's 2nd birthday. His wife, Claire, was laughing, signing the word love with her hands toward the camera. It hit him. Claire had known sign language too. She used to teach it to Nathan as a baby, just in case he ever met someone like her late brother, who was deaf. But after her death, Nathan had stopped speaking, and also stopped signing. Until Emily came. Tears welled in Richard's eyes. It wasn't therapy or money his son needed. It was connection. Someone who spoke his silent language. The next morning, Richard found Emily cleaning tables in the restaurant. Without a word, he walked over and signed the word thank you. She froze, then smiled as tears filled her eyes. From that day on, Emily became more than an employee. She became part of their small family, not because of pity, but because she understood what it meant to listen without sound. Years later, at Nathan's school recital, the boy stood on stage, signing his entire speech while speaking every word. As he looked at his father and Emily in the crowd, his voice trembled but steady. "Sometimes," he said, "you don't need to hear to understand. You just need someone who listens differently." Richard stood there, tears streaming down his face. For the first time in years, he didn't feel like a billionaire. He just felt like a father who had finally found his son again.